I want to make a really quick video about this. Once you rent out your unit in full to a tenant, you will lose all your rights to your property, which is very different than if you own a unit, you live in one room, and you rent out a room in your unit. Those are two very different scenarios. One is a house hacking, rent hacking situation. The other one is a landlord-tenant relationship. In the eyes of the government, in the eyes of the legal court system, your rights as the primary homeowner or the unit leaseholder completely change. You need to understand this very important nuance. And the reason is because roommate relationships are not governable by the government or the court system. So if I have a roommate who lives and rents in my unit that I own, I have a condo, 2-bedroom condo, I get a tenant, they come and be my roommate, they live in the spare bedroom, they have zero rights in the eyes of the law because they're my roommate. They don't own the lease, they just get to rent a room in my unit. And let's take this a further. If you own a 2-family and it's a landlord occupied 2-family, as in you live in one half and then you rent out your other unit, you have slightly more control over who you're comfortable with renting there because you live there on the premises. If you don't live in your 2-family, you have no right to judge any tenant that wants to rent that property. So the government, most states will give the homeowner of multifamily units some say in who their neighbor is going to be. And that's rightfully so. Like if I'm a single woman and I have 5 frat boys that want to rent next door, that's uncomfortable to me. I might feel at risk of sexual harassment. Who knows? But there is a law that stipulates that once you don't live there anymore, then you cannot have any preferential treatment on your tenants. So everything in America, you need to understand, is fully sabotaging landlord rights, promoting tenant rights, because the government does not have enough housing for people, and they rely on private landowners and landlords to provide housing. So you have to understand, as a landlord, you have no rights. But if you have a roommate, then you have every right. The closer in proximity you live to this person, the more rights you have. Because if I don't like my roommate, and let's say my roommate next door plays music every night, I can just kick them out. I can take all their junk, throw it outside, give them back their money, and I'd be fine. There's zero recourse.